Rumble, wasn't able to stream on there. And the remaining YouTube channel I have is just fucked off as well. So, limited stream. Be blessed if you're able to see this, because you are blessed. You could have been anywhere in the world, yet you chose to be here with me, and I'm grateful for it. Um, Today we're going to be answering a question that really only came to my mind recently. Um, Something I never put much thought into. It's dealing with transgenders. I mean, we've had transgender people around since before I was born. It was pretty common. They had different names for them. Um, One of my heroes is transgender. Um, Chelsea Manning, someone who spoke up against the tyranny of the government, got tortured. They did everything to try to get her to fold on uh, Julian Assange. Uh, but she stood strong for the most part, even though like I said, she was tortured for an extended period of time. How they're torturing Julian Assange. That's someone who did something heroic. They took a stand, principled. She started off in the military, probably thinking she was making the world a better place. As Bradley Manning realized that the government that they were working for was evil, and took that stand. It's something to be saluted. I think we need to show solidarity with our whistleblowers who let us know what our government is doing behind our back. I'm having a poor internet connection, apparently. A lot of technical difficulties today. Like I said, if you can see this, just be blessed. Understand that, yeah, you're in the selective few. But yeah, so but not all transgender are created equally, because just like they're just people. I like to say that my pronouns are thou and thine. I'm filled with a love divine. I love all of y'all. Don't give a shit what your pronouns are. All I care about is your verbs. Mine are unite, revolt, overthrow, rebel, love. Um, Notice I didn't say torture, war crimes, bombings. None of the violent stuff. That's not what I do, right? That being said, there are, some transgendered Nazis, like this Sarah Ashton Carrillo character. Someone who now identifies as she, her. However, I I have to call this person a Nazi he bitch. That's their pronouns for me personally. Um, because I don't want to like lie for this person. Um, they have certain ideology that I find repulsive. And let's see if you could pick up on it.
And so, what do you feel about Russians orcs now? So, I think that it is part of Mongoloidans.
Sir, you have a European party, and the reality is Russians are not European. Russians, as Mr. Danilov was clear to say, Russians have a different culture. Russians are Asian.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately,
And
they
matters.
do come from the Mongols. They do come from a grouping, Mr. President, Mr. Deputy, of people who are wanting to be slaves and want to be led just as it was from the days of Genghis Khan.
So this Nazi he bitch's ideology is that Russians are Asian, therefore they're genetically predisposed to be into slavery. Yet she won't let her XY chromosomes or testicles or any of the other signifying attributes that let you know that this was originally a man limit her to calling herself her or himself her. Like I said, Nazi he bitch is the pronoun. I don't want people to like feel like I'm saying this is a her, because I feel like this bitch is on the run for war crimes. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, it was a her, it was definitely a she. No, it's probably a dude they're looking for in some international tribunal that they're trying to lock up for some atrocious shit that this bitch probably co-signed on. So I feel like respecting people's pronouns, it's good if they're respectable people. Uh, if it's somebody who you think could torture someone, you know, attach like a car battery to someone's testicles or uh, shout a bunch of Nazi ideology at Russians, you know, Russophobic or whatever. Like, yeah, don't give them any cover. Just be like, it was a Nazi he bitch. Dude put on a wig, started just saying a bunch of hateful shit. I was like watching Hitler. Hitler beats RuPaul's Drag Race. I was scared. I was concerned. Go arrest that Nazi he bitch. And the Nazi he bitch is not done.
And so I wish the rest of Europe and the Western world understood that Europe ends at Ukraine. We are protecting European values and Western values the same way those did hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years ago when the Mongols were coming in. I will say that what's happening in the Kremlin and what's happening to every Russian that supports Vladimir Putin's decisions are not human. These people are not human. They are enemies of humanity, in fact.
No.
The Russians are not human. That's this Nazi he bitch's personal belief. The Russians are not human. But this Nazi he bitch expects me to call him a woman. Now he's a her now. But the Russians aren't human. So it's just like, I feel like it's just disrespectful to call this person by their desired pronouns. Call them by their verbs. Nazi. You might not think Nazi is a verb, but they Nazi so hard that they turned Nazi into a verb. And you did not see it coming. Because you see like the little, you know, the smile, got the makeup, putting on the rouge, all that shit. It must be softer, gentler. No, it's a Nazi he bitch in disguise, on the run, hanging out with the Nazis in Ukraine. This is the kind of Nazi he bitch that they would celebrate in Canada's government. They would give a standing ovation for this Nazi he bitch right here. So yeah, just don't fall for it. If someone asks you to call them by pronouns that they were not born with, verify that they are not a Nazi war criminal. They don't collaborate with any Nazi battalions. They're not funding any wars, any biological weapons labs. These are things you have to do before you can like respect someone's desired pronouns if they're not their native pronouns. Because you could just be aiding and abetting a criminal like this bitch, this Nazi he bitch. Wrap them in a wet raw hide so when it dries, it squeezes out all their contents like a tube of toothpaste. What are we talking about again? I don't subscribe to that particular ideology as well. I'm one of those people. I want to see him alive so I can see him suffer. I look at this Nazi he bitch. It's like Negan, the whole government, Western governments, the shit that she upholds. It's like the Negan in Walking Dead. If you haven't seen it, Negan was like the roughest, toughest customer. Had a group of people killing, looting, pillaging, raping, doing some of the most atrocious shit. However, they kept Negan alive long enough to see the civilization that they were trying to build, and then he was inspired by it. He was so inspired that he chose to fight to uphold what they were fighting for. I have no confidence that this Nazi he bitch would do some shit like that. Just listen to the Nazi he bitches just espouse her hatred towards Russian people. They're not human, or just because they're Asian, they're predisposed to slavery. What kind of dumb he bitch? It's frustrating. And it's just this is what's like this is I never wore blue and yellow together. As soon as people started celebrating the Nazis in the Ukraine, I was just like, no, I'm a warrior and I'm from the Golden State, but I would never wear the Golden State Warriors after the Ukraine Nazis just started getting all kinds of support in our news media with he bitches like this um, moving the ball forward for their cause and moving the balls forward. Because I don't think they're post-op. Negan didn't abide rape in his own words. That does not fly. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. He's worse. This Nazi he bitch is worse than Negan. I get you. That's why I say I don't have confidence that this particular Nazi he bitch would ever come to Negan's point of view. However, I don't want to wrap them up in rawhide and squeeze them till the contents come out. That's just not something I do. That's something that this he bitch does. They love the torture, the slavery, the bombings, the killings. This bitch got fired for celebrating the torture and abduction of a journalist who was just exposing how corrupt the Ukrainian government was. Gonzalo Lira, laughing at him being tortured. So it's just this is who we fund with our fucking money. That's why you should not pay taxes. And respect people's pronouns up to a point, as long as their verbs align with yours. If you are a being of love and light, building, creation, yes, celebrate their pronouns if they share that with you. If it's a violent, just gigantic four-headed Nazi he bitch, they're running from the law. I can use they them pronouns on someone like this because they probably got multiple aliases because they're fleeing the law. Like I said, I have no doubt in my mind this Nazi he bitch is capable of and has probably done all kinds of crimes that we're not exposed to yet. So it's just like don't fall for it. To quote KRS-One. Oh, 1 second. And then I'm just trying to get at least all of my streams are having issues. Maybe the government doesn't want me to expose their main number one Nazi he bitch because they went after Chelsea Manning. Chelsea Manning was an upstanding, beautiful soul who took a stand and was tortured by the government. This Nazi he bitch is one of the people who does the torturing. All right, I would love if we're going to be trying to reframe the way people look at transgender individuals. We should be upholding the people we're actually torturing. Really, just anybody. It's not just transgender people. All of the worst of the worst. The worst cisgendered heteronormative people. They get like they're in this bitch's circle. Like I'm sure all of the Nazis that this he bitch works with are cisgendered heteronormative Nazis. They use this Nazi he bitch for cover. Make it seem like they're so evolved. They're so progressive. Look, the president of the Ukraine is Jewish. He can't be a Nazi. He just hangs out with Nazi he bitches who talk about Russians not being human and they're predisposed to slavery. And we try to provoke them to World War III with nuclear armaments. I know what we're being told about Russia and Ukraine is only part of the story. Fortunately, I'm unfamiliar with the Nazi bitch. I live in the forest. Well, yes. This despicable person is Sarah Ashton Carrillo, someone who I got familiar with a few weeks ago. I may have mentioned the Nazi he bitch in their ramblings, but it just really got out of control, and then they got super comfortable, let it all hang out, not just their testicles. I'm talking about just their hateful ideology. And like I said, I truly believe that this motherfucker's on the run. Probably got nothing to do. Probably only became transgender so it can change his name and just have a good cover story. You remove the wig, the makeup, just a hideous war criminal. I just think of it was a show, Hunters. It was a group of people who were hunting Nazis who were brought in during Operation Paperclip. And she was probably what made her decide to go transgender, so she can like offer herself to all those Nazis, satisfy them sexually. I don't know. Don't know this person's backstory. I just know whatever made this person arrive to being just such a blatant Nazi he bitch. Um, yeah, just it turns my stomach to hear her speak.
Now we have difficult. So what is your opinion about counteroffensive now?
For well over a year, we've been asking our Western partners since the days of your presidency, sir, to make certain that they understood the threat of these non-humans. And
The threat of these non-humans since the president, she thinks she's talking to the former president of the Ukraine. He left like 2018ish. But he was one of the first presidents after the overthrow of the Ukrainian government back in 2014. And it was overthrown by a bunch of Nazi he bitches and she bitches like this one, and she bitches like Victoria Nuland, just all kinds of just atrocious Nazis need to be locked up. I'm like still waiting for the day where we start seeing people like this doing a perp walk. Like at this point, like they're exposing their criminality on video. We got like openly fascistic governments. We got this video of members in BlackRock admitting that they own our government. It costs less than $10,000 to buy senators. They're bragging about this shit. Nobody's going to jail yet. So I'm looking for us to have some kind of a real Occupy movement where we go into the corporations that run our government and start bringing them to justice. And I think we're going to need the police. We're going to need the military to join us. If you guys are reluctant, I realize there's a lot of money to try to get you to go against your own best interest. You know, as they poison your water, poison your air, all of your communities' water and air and food. But yeah, it's in your best interest to fight against it. We could come up with some kind of incentive structure where if you turn in the bribes when you lock up the criminals who bribed you, we could double the bribe or something. I don't know. We got to figure something out. But we can't have people like this on the street. Like just think about what is that doing to our society? We got all these mass shootings, school shootings, the most violent fucking country in the world. How? It's because we have people who are trained by killers like this to think like this, to view human beings as non-humans worthy of slavery. Then once they're done with the military, of course, they join the police force. When they excel at murder, excel at hatred. We're indoctrinated in hatred. So it's just like we need to restructure our entire society. So people like this can never have power. People like this are never heard. And then people like myself who get silenced for preaching truth, for saying videotape the police, for questioning pharmaceutical companies that have knowingly poisoned millions of people in the past. We're just supposed to give them a pass and just like accept whatever medical experiments they want to conduct on us. Even though the company that shut down my channel, YouTube, owned by Google, directly funding the mRNA injections that you can't speak ill about, that's a criminal syndicate. These are like criminal organizations that need to be taken down. And I love the fact that Google is being looked into. But yeah, right now we just it's time for action because I'm through with speeches. It just proves, regardless of your sexuality or gender, you can always just be crazy. This is why I avoid other humans. I would never say, oh, this person they're good by because they're this gender, this sex, this race. Anybody can be crazy, especially if you're born in a Western society. Look at what they teach us in schools. It's totally backwards. Um, that's why we're like some of the most uneducated people. When I talk to people from other countries, they're surprised when I know shit that I view as basic, um, because they think Americans are dumb, and they think we're dumb because they think we actually believe the news, and some people do, but I am not one of those people. And for me, countering what they say on the news, I ended up losing 4 YouTube channels. However, that didn't stop me. That just more fortified my mission. Because it's like, it's not like, oh, I lost all that stuff. Now I'm going to get with the program. I'm just going to say whatever YouTube tell me to say. Even though I was right, over time, it was all proven. I'm just going to get behind whatever message they want me to put out. No. Because also the message that they wanted me to put out, I was hurt from by directly by, my family was hurt directly by, because I questioned one of the injections that Google was funding. Sure enough, I had multiple family members who got injured by the fucking injection. One of my family members had a stroke in her 30s. That's not normal. Blood clots led to that, and the injection was known for blood clots. And you can't bring that up. You can't question it. They make it seem like that's the new norm. It's climate change that's causing you to stroke out in your 20s and 30s. You had a heart attack when you were 18? Well, it must have been too much climate. Were you in the sun too long? Let's lock you down. Lock you down, put a mask on you while you're alone in your car. Knuckin' futs. Facts, yes. I appreciate the acknowledgement of said facts. Now we are, what is going on? Yeah, it is just, I'm having a hell of a time on all platforms to get this one out. That must mean I'm saying something that just social media companies do not want to be heard, which means I should be proud to be saying it. Woohoo! Ooh, little spillage. Anyway, internet. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to calculate because let me see what is going on. I guess this is going now. IG is kind of going a little bit. YouTube's totally fucked. Well, a matter of fact, to the people on my tech channel, I do have a question. Am I just like to the side? Am I like off to the side in a weird position? Because that's how I see it on my live stream. So, yeah, that's why I'm just like, I want to just turn this shit off because it just looks stupid. It's like I don't know if it's some new protocol for YouTube because it's just going down the shitter. Yeah, you're sideways. Okay, so I am sideways. Good to know. All right. This is just fucking asinine. Just ridiculous. Yeah, it used to be I just hit live, enter the information, go live, and then it would orient to whatever way I had my phone or device. Now it's just stupid. So yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about the sideways bullshit. Yeah, so I'm gonna figure this out. I might do a live. I want to say tomorrow, but then I got like a big day tomorrow. Probably sometime during this week. But I do also have content that I'm going to be uploading on NatesVlogs.net. In part, covering this Nazi he bitch. Uh, Nigga, I'm your only fan. Well, that's is that you saying you follow me on OnlyFans? Cause I don't really do that toph stuff anymore. Um, it's a it's a dark period in my life. I just really needed the money. Um, so I was making mukbang videos and doing some weird stuff with feet. But it was just, it was just I kept getting the requests. Was that you who kept requesting that? But anyways, I don't do the OnlyFans. And if you think you're my only fan, yeah, you're actually tardy to the party. I started trying to live stream on Instagram. I tried to do the all streams at one time. Rumble just didn't even start. I've been having issues with this for weeks. They say they don't censor. I think this might be a way of censoring me because, uh, yeah, I haven't been able to do a live stream in about a month at this point. And yeah, Instagram did not work. It just kept. It looked like it was starting, then it just cut out. Then I restarted it. It looked like it was starting, then it cut out. Now it started, but I already talked about what I was going to talk about. I covered this video, and I'm streaming on other sites, and I'm collecting the comments from the sites that are actually streaming. So sorry for the confusion. I mean, I'd buy it. Well, yeah. You want some foot stuff? Check that out, bro. That's just a sample. I got like a whole DVD of just foot stuff, so you can like see my feet in different positions, covered in different oils and greases. I can suck my own big toe, right? Mm-hmm. That's extra. You gotta follow me on Patreon to get some of that big toe nastiness. I have so many questions. Well, you are the question, brother. And I think people should be questioning more. So I respect that. Play Death, Play Skull. What is that? Play Paul Skull. Anywho, internet. Yeah. So yeah, NatesVlogs.net got an evaluation. I'm your goon now. You're my goon. Well, I appreciate that. Well, when we start running up in the corporations looking for reparations, well, I'll call on you, and I hope I can rely on you, because we need to do something about it. I'm looking at France when they had their revolution going into Black Rock with pitchforks and torches. I'm looking at Africa, all of the people-led revolutions where they overthrow the Western-backed governments, had the military join in. It was a beautiful thing, kicking France and America out. So, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. If you're my goon, I'm going to call on you for that. What did I walk into? Well, the initial conversation was started because I was trying to figure out if you do more harm than good by respecting the pronouns of someone who's a Nazi. And then my case study was this Nazi he bitch back here, Sarah Ashton Carrillo, who espouses all this anti-colored people propaganda, says that Russian people are not human. They're Asiatic. They're predisposed to slavery. They're worthy of death, destruction, torture, all the most evil shit. That's why she hangs out with Nazis, or sorry, this Nazi he bitch hangs out with Nazis. Um, and I feel like, my pronouns are thou and thine, filled with a love divine, love everybody. Don't care what your pronouns are, care about your verbs. Mine love, revolt, unite, overthrow. You notice this person's pronouns: torture, bombing, war crimes, just evil shit. And I feel like if you respect someone like this as pronouns, you're giving them cover because this bitch is clearly on the run from the law. And I would never give someone like this cover. They need to be brought to justice. Uh, so I have to call him a Nazi he bitch because not natively a woman, probably attached a car battery to someone's testicles, and they should be just locked up for the rest of their life. So that's kind of where the conversation started. Then we had some people come in, start talking about OnlyFans, asking for pictures of my feet. They want to see them oiled up, dipped in lard and other greases like bacon fat. And I gave them a sneak preview, but if you want to see that kinky stuff, you got to follow me on Patreon. Yeah, I could take foot photos from all kinds of angles. That's how I'm getting my loot right now, you know. And I'd stay breaded like a prison meatloaf. So speaking of prison meatloaf, I'm gonna be dipping my feet in some meatloaf, like breaking it up with my toes, getting it all in between the toes, if that's what you into. And I see some people smiling. So yeah, just follow me on the Patreon, and for the new videos that got nothing to do with me squishing shit with my feet, NatesVlogs.net. Be posting on there again shortly. So how did we get to toes? Yeah, it was the toes was just, we got some fetishes, a lot of fetishes, and it's just no judgment. I just give them what they want. One of them, Jake was asking me to send just some of my toenail clippings. He was like, if you got any fungal infected toenail clippings that are yellowy and all that stuff, he's like, I want those ones. And it's hard for me to just, not abide. But like I said, you gotta have a certain donation level for me to do that, for it to be worth my time. So if you want my toenail clippings, any body fur, it could be arranged. You just gotta make the price worth my while. Okay. You got some zesty fans, bro. What the fuck? Yeah, it's just, it's another day in the life. Another day in the life. I want my Ma Picks bathwater. All right. Well, I see that, and that might be like one of my Patreon gifts when I like get a certain donation. I could send you like a sample of some bath water. Yeah, I'm gonna work all that stuff out. But NatesVlogs.net for the videos. We'll get more foot stuff over there. Yeah, we'll satiate your avarice appetite for foot stuff. So I'm gonna work on that. Until then, remember to be good to each other. I'm gonna try to do another live during the week if I have some downtime. And I'll be posting a new employee evaluation up on NatesVlogs.net shortly, as well as some older stuff. So I'm gonna be going through all that. So remember to be good to each other, you guys. Peace. Yeah, that was for you.